Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon so that you receive daily Islamic videos. The name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Peace be upon you, ladies and gentlemen. Before listening to today's astonishing incident, prepare your hearts, because what you are about to hear is beyond human imagination. Some events in life shake our very core, leaving us wondering about the mysterious ways in which Allah Almighty manifests His power. Today, we will narrate an incident that defies human logic, an occurrence that has been recorded in history as one of the most extraordinary and thought-provoking events. This is the real story of a deceased woman who, after being buried, miraculously gave birth to a child inside the grave. Such events challenge the very limits of human reasoning, yet they remind us of the divine will of Allah, who is capable of performing miracles beyond our comprehension. This incredible story is documented in the writings of Nizam-ud-Dawla, a well-known historical figure. He narrates that once he visited Lahore and stayed in a hotel for about a month. During his stay, he resided near a place called Miani, which is known for its large and historic graveyard. As part of his daily routine, he would often visit the cemetery for Fatiha and prayers for the departed souls. One Thursday, as he entered the graveyard as usual, a frail and extremely weak child suddenly appeared before him. The boy's body had barely any flesh, and he looked extremely malnourished. Curious, he inquired about the child and discovered that he was the son of the local gravedigger. Moments later, a group of people arrived at the graveyard, appearing to be in distress. They approached the child and informed him that a loved one had passed away, and they needed an arrangement for a grave. The child's response was rather unusual. Instead of simply pointing them in the right direction, he started behaving strangely. The child moved from one grave to another, touching, sniffing, and listening closely to each one. His actions seemed bizarre and inexplicable. After a short while, he stopped at a particular grave, pointed towards it, and confidently declared, "This grave is empty. You can bury your deceased here." The grieving family, without questioning, handed him money and instructed him to prepare the grave. They informed him that they would bring the deceased after Isha prayers for burial. However, this entire incident seemed suspicious to Nizam-ud-Dawla. He began to wonder, is this child illegally selling graves? He decided to investigate further. Determined to uncover the reality, he made his way to the child's father, the old gravedigger, who lived in a small, dark room inside the graveyard. The room itself was eerie, surrounded by countless graves. When he narrated the strange incident to the gravedigger, the old man sighed deeply and said, "You have asked about something that happened a long time ago. If you truly wish to know, I will tell you the entire story. But be prepared, for it is not an ordinary tale." Hearing this, Nizam-ud-Dawla grew even more curious and encouraged the old man to share the mystery of what had transpired in this very graveyard. What the old gravedigger told him was so shocking, so incredible, that it sent shivers down his spine. The gravedigger began his tale. "This happened many years ago when I was about 40 years old. I was the caretaker of this graveyard, just as I am today. One night, during a terrible storm, I went out to inspect the graves. Heavy rain was pouring down, and I was checking which graves had sunken and needed repairs. As I walked through the cemetery, suddenly I heard a baby crying. At first I thought my mind was playing tricks on me, but then the cry grew louder, echoing through the graveyard. It was unmistakable, the sound of an infant weeping. My heart pounded as I searched for the source of the cries. To my utter shock, I realized that the sound was coming from inside a grave. With trembling hands, I approached the grave. To my horror, I saw that due to the heavy rainfall, one side of the grave had collapsed, revealing a glimpse of the shroud of the deceased inside. I hesitated for a moment, but then, summoning my courage, I decided to step into the grave to investigate further. What I saw inside left me speechless. There, nestled beside the buried woman, was a newborn baby, crying and moving. I was stunned. This was the same woman who had been buried just a few days ago, but when she died, she had been pregnant. It was clear the child was born inside the grave. I carefully lifted the baby out of the grave. He was so tiny, barely a day old. I gently wrapped him and brought him home, knowing that he could not be left in the grave. For days, I searched desperately for his family, but I could not find anyone. Finally, I decided, with my wife's consultation, to raise him as my own. The old gravedigger continued. As the child grew older, I realized that he possessed an extraordinary ability. He could sniff a grave and tell how long the deceased had been buried there. He could determine if the body had decayed or if its bones remained. It was as if Allah had granted him a special gift, something beyond the understanding of ordinary people. Think about it, how Allah Almighty made it rain that night, just so that the grave would collapse and I would hear the cries of that helpless infant. Indeed, such incidents are beyond human understanding, but they serve as a testament to Allah's boundless power. Allah can make possible what we cannot even imagine. Viewers, this story is not just a tale. It is a powerful reminder of Allah's divine will. He controls life and death in ways we cannot fathom. It is proof that He has absolute command over all things. How many mysteries remain hidden from our eyes? How many events occur that defy logic? Yet, they are all part of Allah's greater plan. This incredible event forces us to reflect on the wonders of creation and strengthens our faith in the unseen. If you have not yet subscribed to our Mystical Islam channel, click the red button now and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on the bell icon so you never miss out on our daily Islamic videos that bring you stories of wisdom, faith, and divine miracles. May Allah guide us all on the path of righteousness. Ameen.